So already we are discussing misrepresentation, and next I am going to present a topic on types of misrepresentation. That is, misrepresentations are of various types. That is, unwarranted statements. When someone declares a statement which is relevant to the contract and that statement does not have information which justify those facts even though he believes to be true is misrepresentation. In Bombay case, for example, the defendant chartered a ship from a plaintiff who stated that the ship was certainly not more than 28,000 tonnage registered. As a matter of fact, the ship had never been in Bombay and was wholly unknown to the plaintiff. She turned to be a registered tonnage of more than 3,000 tons. It was held that the defendant were entitled to avoid the charter party. The reason was that the defendant asserted regarding the size of the ship, an assertion not supported justified by any information the plaintiff had at the time at which was not true. A statement is said to be unwarranted by the information of the person making it when he receives the information from a reliable source. It should be mere and here essay. Where a representation acquires the status of being a term of contract and it also turns to be false, the disadvantaged party may not avoid the contract and also sue for damages for breach. Where the seller of a car stated that the car had only $20,000, representation being untrue, the buyer was allowed to recover compensation of misrepresentation. There are three types of misrepresentations. They are: first one is innocent misrepresentation. That is a false statement of material fact by the defendant who was unaware at the time of contract signing and that the statement was untrue. The remedy is in this situation is usually rescission or cancellation of the contract. Next one is negligent misrepresentation. That is a statement that the defendant did not attempt to verify was true before executing a contract. This is a violation of the concept of reasonable care that a party must undertake before entering an agreement. The remedy for negligent misrepresentation is contract rescission and possibly damages. Next one is fraudulent misrepresentation. In fraudulent misrepresentation, that is a statement that the defendant made knowingly it was false, that the defendant made recklessly to induce the other party to enter a contract. The injured party can seek to void the contract and to recover damages from the defendant. Next one is about fraud. According to Merriam-Webster, fraud is defined as an intentional perversion of truth in order to induce another party with another to part with something or of value or to surrender a legal right. The distortion of facts intentionally which are directed towards the other party in order to receive their assent to the proposal. Then mere silence is not a fraud. That is a code that we can say that mere silence is not a fraud. That is, false impression is ordinarily conveyed by deliberate misstatement of facts. Misstatement of facts is just one of the ways by which fraud can be caused. A false impression may be caused by trick or device or ambiguous language, active concealment of material facts or other methods. Ordinarily, mere silence is not a fraud, even if it results in a concealed facts likely to affect the willingness of a person to enter into contract. A contracting party is under no obligation to disclose the whole truth to the other party or to give him the whole information in his possession affecting the subject matter of the contract. It is under this principle that a trader may keep silent after the plaintiff has introduced the prices. A seller who put forth an unsound horse for sale does not say nothing about his quality, commits no fraud. And next is the difference between fraud and misrepresentation. Fraud is intentionally wrong, misrepresentation may be quite innocent. And fraud is addition to making the contract voidable is a cause of action in tort for damages. Misrepresentation is a not a tort, but under Section 75 of the Contract Act, a person who rightfully resigns a contract is entitled to compensation for any damage which he has sustained through non-fulfillment of contract. A person complaining of misrepresentation can be countered with that he had opportunity of discovering the truth with ordinary effort, but accepting fraud silence is not lie in the mouth of committing fraud to say that this victim was too deceived or had the means of deceiving the truth. This is about fraud and misrepresentation. Thank you.